Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 6th grade concept of properties of operations. This is standard 6.7D in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 6 of the 2024 released STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. All right, so we have this basic expression here. We need to find the one that is not equivalent to this expression. Okay. Now, hopefully, when we see this, right, we are thinking we have an outside number, right? This 1/2, and then you're multiplying that by an expression. Okay, we should be thinking distributive property. It's something that we really focus on in the 6th grade, but we don't even learn for the first time in the 6th grade. We learned that back in elementary school. So here's what the distributive property says. If you have an outside multiplier, right? So 1/2 in this case, you're multiplying it by an expression like this, right? B plus C. What you can do is you can multiply A by both terms. A times B, you have to keep this the same, and then A times C. So you distribute that A, and you multiply it by both terms inside that expression. That's what the distributive property means, okay? So, for example, 3, and let's say it's 5 plus 1, okay? That's going to be the same as 3 times 5 plus 3 times 1. You distribute this out. Let's see, what is 3 times 5? Well, that's really 3 times 6, so that's 18. So what's 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 1 is 3. 15 plus 3 is 18. So that's how it works. So let's take a look at this 1/2, and we're going to multiply it by 6 minus x. And it's okay that it's minus rather than positive. That just means the second term will be negative. Well, if I were to distribute it out like this, right, I'm going to multiply my 1/2 times x. I don't really need parentheses there because when you have a number next to a letter, it implies multiplication. Then I need a minus, right? And you notice we got minuses in all of these right here. But what I have here is I have 1/2. I need to multiply that by 6. I think that's where it's going to be a little bit tricky, because what is 1/2 of 6? 1/2 times 6. We're going to need to do something with that. Simplify that. Well, if I take 6 like this, literally take half of it, I'm going to get 3. 1/2 times 6, I can make that a fraction. I can make it 6 over 2, which equals 3. So let's reimagine this as 1/2 x minus 3. All right. So let's see which one does not work. Well, initially, this one looks a little bit suspicious, okay? Because what happened to the 1/2? We only multiplied the 1/2 by the x. We never did anything to the 6. We need to multiply that by the x. So I'm thinking that one might not work, which means that could be our answer. Okay, so look at B. 1/2 x minus 6 over 2. That's what we did right here. They just rewrote the 3, right, as the 6 over 2, which we know that that's going to simplify down to 3. So that works, which means we don't want it. We want the one that does not work. Now, x over 2 minus 3. I like the minus 3, but I have a question about this x over 2. Well, if I have 1/2 x, multiplying something by 1/2 is the same as dividing it by 2. So if I have 1/2 and I want to multiply it by x over 1, guess what we get? We get x over 2. So it's a strange way of writing it, but x over 2 is the same as 1/2 x, which means it works, which means I don't want it. Now this one is a little bit weird. X minus 6 over 2. Well, what we can do here is we can take that over 2, and we can actually distribute that out as well. We can say, this is another way of writing that. You can put the divided by 2 under both, and guess what you get? X minus 2, which is good, minus 6 minus 2, which is 3, which means that works. We don't want it. Our answer is A.